The 2025 Tennessee Titans and Miami Dolphin NFL team preview edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS. And now with that, let's get everyone involved.
Bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
You lost it all.
No.
Yeah. Technically. Technically?
You're a crumb creep. I want to fight you. But you don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum. Put that on camera. You're a creep.
I am not a fucking loser!
It's bad luck just seeing a thing like that.
I'm Lou Hulk, and you're listening to the Man and the Box and the Bottom Line Bombast. Good luck to you.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, the Laddie Daddy, the Deli Llama, the Bet Detective. Scumbagger Vince, the man in the box, CJ Sullivan. That's right, and we are here with another week here, the last week of July, heading into August. It's, as I record, it's live Monday, July 28th at noon, hour early, because we got a big day of team previews with the main show as well. From glorious Eagle Rock, California, of course. If you're listening over on X, hop on over to the YouTube right now. You can join the live chat, keep the energy going. We already got John and Feach out here in the chat, keeping things going. John says, what's up, Bet Detective, with some bombs? You get some bombs? Feach Lamagna. He says, first off, shout out to his guys in Canaryville talking about Pope Leo. That's right. Last show I gave you clips of Pope Leo. That's from my other podcast, the Blackout Diaries. I'm going to put out some more Pope Leo content. He was a great get. He was a great interview, and if you haven't listened to it, listen to it. Not right now. Listen right now. You're listening to the Bottom Line Bombs because we have it's training camp season. It's ready to go. Titans and the Dolphins today, as we're going to pound through them. And once we get to August, we're going to have more guests. No guests today. I'm going to do Titans and Dolphins. Have a Man in the Box segment. All the training camp footage is coming out. That's when you know. That's when you know it's too early. I love the too early NFL season. Jackson Dart looks amazing. Jackson Dart looks terrible. It's just somebody's iPhone footage of a training camp throw or a run, which I don't mind. I actually don't mind all the training camp hype, but people are blowing back again. I like when the media blows back again. Let's stop hyping up every training camp and the carting off and every catastrophe. This is what you do. They just don't like other people stepping on their sensationalism. Listen. We blow things out of proportion, okay, with our debates. Don't start doing stuff with beating us with footage just because you guys want football to happen. And we do. That's exactly what happened. But yeah, shout out to the Pope Leo. That is, I forget his Sox, Cubs clips. I mean, there's so much. Anyway, what else was training camp there? The carted off injury was pretty amazing because everything does seem apocalyptic. That was Justin Fields. Carted off. Then it turns out he was riding shotgun in the cart. He was in a cart. He wasn't like laid out, They fear he blew his Achilles. They fear he was shot. He injured his toe. And he was back the next day, and he's doing fine. Now, if that's good for the Jets or bad for the Jets, I don't know. Getting Justin Fields. But no Kirk Cousins, that's for sure. But yeah, I love the train. The vibes, a lot of vibe talk. You're going to get that today too. Kay Adams today said, I wasn't ready for the energy at Giants camp. They got good vibes. They got something going on. They're having fun. Vibes. I like handicapping on vibes. The vibes are good. Great. Russell Wilson's a quarterback, right? How are those vibes? Vibes are real good. Justin Fields' vibes are great. They're dancing. You see Dak Prescott dance like Harry Potter? Bad vibes. No, that's good vibes. I was actually at Dallas Cowboys training camp. Speaking of Dallas Cowboys, not visiting there to be a guest or anything like that, or even covering it for media-wise. I just happened to be next to it in Oxnard, California, golfing my Saturday tournament, my Saturday Roosevelt Men's Club, if you will. Tournament was in Oxnard, right where the Cowboys have training camp, and the course is like right on top of it. And you can see all the, the jean shorts and the hair gel and the Dak Prescott jerseys lined up around the corner to go see their Cowboys and see Jerry Jones call him Michael Parsons. But, yeah, no need. I was going to say, well, maybe I'll drive over someone's foot there, but no need to injure any Cowboys. They'll mess up themselves as long as Jerry Jones is their general manager and their owner. He can be the owner, but as long as he's the general manager, they're gonna be terrible. Feach says an overpaid lineman kissing his teammate on the forehead was not on his training camp bingo card. That is the Christian Wilkins saga that's going on with the Raiders. Christian Wilkins, huge signing last year for the Raiders. They gave him a ton of money, 4-year contract, I think, like $130 million, whatever, and they just cut him. He's been injured, and now it's so funny. So he's been injured. They asked him to have ankle surgery. He said no. He got a second opinion. He said like a second ankle surgery right before OTAs, and he said no. And now, so they wound up cutting him, and now they want to take back his guaranteed money, which I don't think you can do. I'm pretty sure you can't take guaranteed money away. That's why it's guaranteed. And they already paid him that guaranteed money. Now they want it back. Oh, you do? You want that $37 million back? Yeah, I kind of spent that. On what? None of your goddamn business. How about that? So now these stories come out that he does weird things. One was tickling players' toes. Now the actual story comes out that he kissed a teammate on the forehead, and that guy did not like that. In those homophobic locker rooms. So how true those stories are, I don't know. He is a bit weird, but I'm sure that's not why they cut him, because he's kissing foreheads. But he does have a bad history. If he is a grab out. He's a grabber. He's a grabby. Every locker room has a grabby guy. You know what it is, but it's always uncomfortable. People are really comfortable being naked, towel snapping, and grabbies. But anyway, all I know is these are football stories. When you get locker room hijinks like that, so you got football stories, and that's always feels good to be back in the old football realm. Speaking of which, right? And with that, don't forget the Sports Jam Podcast is back with their 32 NFL team previews. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode, they'll give out one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit the phrase for a chance to win $1,000 Circa Future. Today, we are recording, after I record my show here today, the Bottom Line Bombs, the greatest show on the network of the Dolphins and Titans. They will be doing Seattle and Jacksonville, and I will be guesting on those two episodes, giving my insight to that. I'll also do my own Seattle-Jacksonville, but I'm going to help out the guys there. Jacksonville's always my Gumar. I'm high on them. So that's exciting. We're doing all the teams. And before I get into today's Titans and Dolphins, I do want to recap a little bit what happened over the weekend. And one thing was I think was it the day our show ended? Maybe it was Thursday. It was Thursday when Hulk Hogan passed away. The real American hero. America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah. It was a trio. It was Malcolm Joel Warner, then it was Ozzy Osbourne, and then it was Hulk Hogan. So I didn't get to talk about Hulk Hogan on the air. I talked about Ozzy a little bit. I loved Ozzy. We all loved Ozzy. I always related to Ozzy because he was most famous and known and respected and beloved for his massive amount of capabilities to take drugs and alcohol, like at freakish levels. Like scientists wanted to study his body, how much drugs and alcohol he could consume. And like he's known as a scary guy, but he really wasn't. He was a character, you know. He's kind of like whatever, big teddy bear, kind of like myself. But his voice was also horrifyingly scary, no matter what, and his amount of alcohol and drugs. So that's why I've always related to Ozzy. And I loved Ozzy. But the Hulkster set off kind of firestorm online when he died. Hulk Hogan, an icon, you can't deny that. A lot of people said he left a complicated legacy. Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster was complicated. And it wasn't too complicated. It was pretty cut and dry. He was he did some bad things he did great things in the ring, did some bad things out of the ring, did some bad things in the ring too, and good things out of the ring. A lot of things. His character was questioned, you know, and everything's divisive, of course. He became MAGA and the racist thing, whatever. Listen, I'm not getting into all that with the Hulk Hogan. Hogan does have a little special place in my heart. I was a wrestling fan as a kid, as a lot of kids were, not so much as an adult. I told this on the air in VSiN. I'll mention a couple things about Hulk Hogan. And I've mentioned this a couple times here. One, you know, he was the biggest wrestler of all time. He still is, pretty much. Me as a kid, I don't like the heroes, and Hulk Hogan was definitely a hero. I was not a Hulkamaniac by any means. But I respect what Hulk Hogan was. I mean, he's the biggest wrestler of all time. He's box office. I'm a kid who dressed up as Darth Vader for Halloween 2 years in a row. Would have went 3, but my mom wouldn't let me. He said, you got to stop dressing as Darth Vader. He's an evil character. But I love Darth Vader because he's cool. So anyway, when I was a kid, my dad brought me and my buddy Dan Battanti to see wrestling at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. It was like a Tuesday night, middle of the week. I believe it was a birthday gift. And the main event was Hulk. It was a great card. Main event was Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff, in a steel cage match. And we were yelling, and we were yelling for Hulk Hogan to lose. And we said, I bet he's going to lose. Hulk Hogan's going to lose. Paul's going to beat him, you know. And a guy behind us, sitting in the row behind us, said, I'll bet you $5 Hulk Hogan wins. We're like, yeah, we'll take that bet, you know. That's back when, you know, this is the 80s, back when strangers could just talk to kids and that'd be fine. My dad would leave. Like, I'm going to go get a beer. Can you watch my kid in the stadium? Sure, I'll watch him, man. I'm going to bet money on him. I think that's what happened. I think he went and got a beer, came back to this guy betting me and my buddy Hulk Hogan matches. So my dad interrupted that, thankfully. He came in and goes, whoa, what are you doing? One, because it's a guy, a strange person talking to children. You know, he's like, hey, what are you doing? Talking to my kid, like, making bets with my kid. And also, what's the bet? You know, I'll get in on a good bet. Then he hears the bet. He goes, no, that bet's not happening. And that's when he gave me a fair lesson. He said, listen, CJ, boys, Dan, if Hulk Hogan is going to lose, it's not happening tonight in Philadelphia on a Tuesday. Okay? That's not in the script. He might lose eventually, but it's going to happen like Madison Square Garden, WrestleMania, SummerSlam at the very least. But it ain't happening here on, primetime Tuesday Philly wrestling or whatever, when it's not even on TV. So he shut that down, and that's why I learned that not only is wrestling fake, but all gambling can be rigged. So that's it. But what my main point about Hulk Hogan, no matter what you feel about it, and I do like when you have to say that. Say what you will about the guy, and then they usually say something. It's usually about something completely inexcusable. But say what you will about Hulk Hogan. And I feel this got swept under the rug during his obituary because of all the fighting between how he was great or how he was racist or blah, blah, blah. The character, blah, blah, blah. He fought, how he was bad against the unions. He was a snake to his own wrestlers. He did a lot of things that were shady. But to be honest with you, even talking about the racism stuff, for a bodybuilder from Florida who is, roided out of his mind his entire life, he's pretty tame. If you want to go that far into racism, but that's neither here nor there. My point is, one of the greatest things about Hulk Hogan, which got swept under the rug that people aren't talking about, is that he was one of the greatest liars we ever had. I mean, like Wilt Chamberlain type lies. He would lie, for no reason. Just one of these weird liars, which I've always find hilarious. And very provable lies, too, like disprovable lies or whatever. Like shit you could look up, which I always thought hilarious. Feach says he was the best heel around. He was the best heel around. Where is that? I can never find that. I can never find sound bites.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
What murder? But like, here's a couple of the claims Hulk Hogan made. One of my favorite one is he said that the band Metallica offered him the job to be their bass player. Remember when they were auditioning bass players after Burton died? They offered Hulk Hogan that job to be their bass player. Hulk Hogan in Metallica. He also said it was before he started wrestling. So that's how good of a bass player he was. One thing about that is Metallica as a band did not even form until 4 years after he started wrestling. But yeah, Roddy Pasco. As Roddy Pasco says, Lars wanted the Hulkster to be Metallica. And then the best thing about these lies is they go to them. Okay, tell you what we're going to do, Hulk Hogan. Instead of taking your word for it, we're going to go ahead and ask Metallica if this is true. And Lars always said, "Yeah, no, we never offered. We never offered Hulk Hogan our bass job. No, we wanted to continue to be one of the biggest heavy metal bands of all time. So we thought we wouldn't mess that up by making Hulk Hogan our bass player. That's a decision we made as a band. Wise decision by Lars and the boys. I love when he speaking of which, the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, that was complete ripoff of Jake the Body Snake documentary, by the way. Jake the Body Snake. Jake the Snake Roberts. If you ever seen the documentary Beyond the Mat, it's phenomenal. The movie The Wrestler, the Darren Aronofsky movie The Wrestler, it's a good movie, but it's basically a ripoff of that documentary. Anyway, Hulk Hogan said they offered him that role instead of Mickey Rourke 3 times, and he kept turning it down because he didn't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Give it to an actor or whatever. And of course, they went to Darren Aronofsky. He goes, "Yeah, no, he was never up for consideration. I never asked him that. Not even a cameo. I didn't even want him a cameos in a wrestling scene, let alone to be the star of my Oscar-nominated movie." John brings up the 400 days in a year. Amazing claim. Hulk Hogan claimed he wrestled 400 days in 1 year. Mind you, not 400 times, 400 days. How is that possible? You might be asking. You see, Jenners might be asking. Since there's only 365 of them in a year. That's true. But if you do what the Hulkster did and you fly back and forth to Japan so often and the time zone changes, you can wrestle twice in the same day, no problem, in 2 different days. You idiots. Didn't you think about that? You might be asking, well, what about when you fly back to America? Wouldn't you lose that day? Doesn't the time zone work both ways? Yes, it does, but not for the Hulkster. Hulkster banged out 400. He said he was offered scholarships from the Yankees to be a pitcher, the Yankees and the Reds. What? But injuries derailed that. They, of course, said no. That was because that was like a one-up lie, because Randy the Macho Man Savage actually was a minor league pitcher or college pitcher. So he was a baseball player. And I think he heard that and got so upset, or, like, I got to one-up that. The old one-up liar. Well, the Yankees offered me. No, they did not. The Yankees never offered Terry Balboa a pitching contract. One of my favorite. I'm going to play this. I'm going to. Geez, Louise, I might have to play this song. Since I'm getting so into the Hulkster, then I got to take it. Then I got to take a quick break. He put out an album, and he had a song on there that we used to laugh. It was so funny. It was one of the greatest songs of all times. Called Hulkster in Heaven. Apparently, it was a slow song. Let me play a little bit for you. Let me get in there. Hold on. This is Hulkster in Heaven.
I read it in the papers. I saw.
Let me set it up for you. It's about a sick kid he met in England for SummerSlam or something, who was like, Make-A-Wish kid kind of situation, a little Hulkster, and then he died. So little Hulkster got to heaven. So this was his Eric Clapton Tears of Heaven song. This is Hulk Hogan singing, by the way. Hulkster in Heaven. Very, very emotionally moving. Incredible.
I'm on TV.
You heard it in the papers.
I guess I'll be one empty seat. When I wrestle at
Wembley.
I used to tear my shirt. But now you tore my heart. I knew you were a Hulkamaniac. Right
From the very start. This is a good song. You were my friend. This is worth getting sued for. I'm playing it. Although they did take down Deadspin. I should probably be careful. Hulk Hogan did take that down with a sex tape. I gotta stop that. The world just lost another Hulkamaniac. So it's like his tears in heaven. So side note, he never was in England for that wrestling tournament he was talked about, that SummerSlam. He made that kid up. That kid never existed. There was never a sick kid that he was his friend that tore his shirt off that he's going to see back in Wembley. I'm not saying he didn't affect kids and all that, but that kid was completely made up for that song. I mean, top-notch liar. Hulk Hogan, Terry Bobo, R.I.P. I just wanted to get that in there because I didn't have time last week. Just absolutely incredible liar. Say what you want. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's degenerates there. Ronnie says, please stop it, CJ. He's getting too emotional. The things are getting absolutely crazy out there. All right. Let me get this show back derailed here. You're listening to the Bottom Line Bombs. I'm the man in the box, shedding one out for all the fake dead kids that Hulk Hogan wrote songs for. So now let's get back to the basics and tell you about my bookie. And then we'll come back with some team previews. Tennessee Titans, Miami Dolphins 2025. All right. First, my bookie. Oh, hold on. Wrong wrong buttons there. All right. MyBookie.ag, we're brought to you by, you know that. It's our place to bet on every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit, lightning fast payouts, highlighted bet. I like on MyBookie. That's a read I wasn't supposed to read, but I just did that Anchorman style. Sure, of course. We will be on the Atlanta Braves tonight. Minus a 1.5 at even money against the Kansas City Royals. Why? It's Spencer Strider versus Rich Hill. That's why. Rich Hill's 45 years old. God bless him, but come on. Spencer Strider's. I know the A's are bad, but Jesus. Rich Hill. Anyway. We're also brought to you by, so head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Conditions apply. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's going to bet you. Rhythm's going to bet you. Rhythm's going to bet you with props. Props. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a game-changing feature called the Power Trends, the best of it in their house model has to offer. Power trends are updated daily, exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Their baseball's on fire. They got 63%. Their WNBA is on fire with 63%. So download the Rhythm app. Check out the Power Trends. Start betting smarter. And you know you will be. Get your 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Rhythm. Okay, we are back now. Why do I keep hitting the damn wrong button? Nope, I did it again. All right, we're good. Right? We're good, Degenerates? As I take the wide shot here, looking, I don't like to lock it in because we have some NFL team previews to get to. Let's get into these Tennessee Titans right away. Let's get it out of the way. I'm rocking the Oilers hat, the old Tennessee Titan. I mean, I came from the Edmonton thing, you know. They used to be the Houston Oilers. Obviously, they moved to Tennessee. I respect that Tennessee changed their name to the Titans and then take the moniker with them. But what they do sometimes is they'll wear their throwback uniforms and they throw back to the Oilers. That's a little troll job. I don't like that with Tennessee. So let's get into the Titans here, and I almost apologize. Why would I do that?
And people that are productive.
Right. That should be the Tennessee Titans this year. They were 3-14 last year, the Tennessee Titans. Let me pull up their schedule real quick. Let's see what we're looking at here. There we are. Look at that. Tennessee Titans schedule. Pulled it right on up. It's Calvin Ridley. I expect a few good things from Calvin Ridley. They were 3-14 last year. They were their win total this year is 5.5, so they have to double their amount of wins. They are 9-1 to win the AFC South, probably the worst division in football. 175-1 to win the AFC and 400-1 to win the Super Bowl. They are only 9-1 to have the most losses in football. That's up for grabs. Brian Callahan, their coach, he's 27-1 to win head coach of the year. If you like the Titans, and I do not, Brian Callahan is a nice little sprinkle there for coach of the year at 27-1. Why? Because they don't have to do much for these guys to be considered a success. They won 3 games last year. Now, granted, a lot of that was with Will Levis. So you have to throw that out. All right, I'll bring the schedule back up in a little bit here. Let me bring me back up since I got the Titan hat. Let me lock in on the Titan hat. Hey, there it is. So it's hard. Levis is out again this year. He got hurt. He got oddly injured right before the training camp started. Like, yeah, you know what? He's going to be shut down for the year. What? Well, how long did you know this? We knew plenty. We just don't want him being here. It's basically what it is. So Cam Ward is the only hope they have here. Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick. A lot of talk about he is not being talked about. They're like, oh, has there ever been a number 1 overall quarterback discussed less than Cam Ward? Why aren't we talking about him? I like when ESPN says that. Why aren't we talking about Cam Ward? I don't know, ESPN. Maybe because you made your entire draft show about a 5th round pick. That was the son of someone who got bladder cancer. Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders. And you know what? I actually don't even blame ESPN for that. Cam Ward's boring. Shedeur Sanders is not. I get why they talked about Shedeur Sanders. No one thinks he's better than Cam Ward, but I get why you talk about him more. At the same time, yes, Cam Ward's got a great story. He was a 0-star recruit at one point, went to wherever, and blah, blah, blah. Then he finally went to Washington State where he was good. Then he went to Miami. I like Cam Ward. He whips the ball around for sure. He's got bad footwork, they say. Kind of like moves around. Takes a lot of sacks, which is not a good thing. Their offensive line is decent, so that will help him out. He's not going to a terrible offensive line. They signed Kevin Zeitler from Detroit. They have J.C. Latham. They have Pete Skoronka. Their offensive line isn't bad. Cam Ward is 425 to win Rookie of the Year, second behind Ashton Gentry. He should be the chalk. Cam Ward should be the chalk. He's going to be the quarterback all year. There's no one behind him. No one is, unless he's hurt. He's playing every game, and he's going to throw the ball a lot because they're just not good. This team is not good. Their receivers are horrible. Calvin Ridley's their number 1. Then they got Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson. What? What kind of 35-year-old receiver group is this? Then they have a bunch of rookies. They got Eli Anamar. They got Chaim Dike. They got Xavier Respiro. his teammate at Miami, the little white guy, who is he's a little slow-footed.
Give it up for the exciting Whites!
He ran like a 5.140 or something insane, like a 4.8 or something bad. But he actually isn't a bad slot receiver. That being said, the running back room, you have Tyjair Spears, and Tony Pollard. I don't think Spears is that good. He had 84 carries last year, and only 2 of them did he have 12 yards or more. Tony Pollard, I mean, he's nothing exciting, but he will be getting all the carries. And Calvin Ridley will be getting all the catches. For you fantasy guys and gals, I think Calvin Ridley's pretty undervalued because he will be the only one making catches. He's 80-1 to lead the NFL in receptions. I kind of see him as a Malik Neighbor situation of last year, even though Calvin Ridley's definitely older. He's not a rookie, but he's still talented. And if he's literally going to be the only guy Cam Ward can throw the ball to. I mean, yes, they have the tight end, Shega Akawako, but he's not throwing the Lockett or Van Jefferson or any of these other clowns. Ridley's going to have like 12, 15 targets a game. So 80-1, I don't like any of his like offensive player of the year or yards or any of that nonsense because now you're counting on them being successful, which I am not. Their defense, they have good D tackles, Jeffrey Simmons, Devon Sweat. They have bad linebackers, bad D-backs. This defense is going to be brutal. Let's go. The totals. Ridley's over-under 950. I don't like doing the over-unders for season yardage because injuries could definitely mess that up. Treylon Burks should be a Hamilton Tiger Cat, Feach says. I know. Treylon Burks. Poor Treylon Burks. He was drafted to replace A.J. Brown. That did not happen. I mean, that's on the owner, though. There was no reason for them to get rid of A.J. Brown. And I'm an Eagle fan. And I'm happy we did get A.J. Brown, obviously. And Howie Roseman gets all credit for that. But I think a lot of it has to go to Tennessee for getting rid of A.J. Brown, not wanting to pay him. Anyway. Channing Brown, welcome to the chat. He says he missed the first 26, but he's here to get some entertainment for the last 30 minutes of work. There you go. Well, don't worry, Channing Brown. But as soon as the show ends, you need to run it back because I did a very tearful Hulk Hogan tribute to a fake dead kid that you're going to love. Anyway, so yeah, let's bring up that schedule again. Let's see if we can get to 5.5 wins. I see myself already doing the under, but we'll see how this goes. All right, week 1, they are at Denver. Line is 7.5. That's a loss. Cam Ward's first game. No way are they winning in Denver. They will be the number 1 NFL Survivor entry, probably, is the Denver Broncos. And I believe the Titans are going to come up a lot in Survivor during the year. They were 2-14 against the spread last year. Then they are home versus the Rams. That's an L. Now you're 0-2. Although the Tennessee does play well, that's a little Super Bowl rematch from the old, Kevin Dyson to Mike Jones tackle game. Tennessee does play them well, but they're losing 0-2. Then they have the Colts at home. Now you can get a win. You can get your first W there. You're playing either Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson at home. The look-ahead line is they are getting a point. The Colts do actually play well at Tennessee, but the Colts know there's not too many games they're going to be able to win. This has to be one of them. So I'll give them that one, 1-2. Now they have 3 games in a row on the road. At Houston, loss. At Arizona, loss. At Las Vegas, they have a chance on that one. The look-ahead line is 4.5, 5. I'll give that to the Raiders, though, because that's your 3rd road game in a row. That's a tough schedule spot, and the Raiders will definitely be improved. Now they come home to New England. This is a game they can get. This is the Mike Vrabel game, obviously. The Mike Vrabel revenge game. How do you fire Mike Vrabel, coach of the year? I love that. Well, because you know what? His acting weren't thin. And they love talking about these New England Patriots. So that's a tough one. So the Patriots are going to want to win it for Vrabel. But just because you want to win it for someone doesn't mean so. Boy. That's a tough one. That line's going to be a pick 'em. After the 3 straight road games, you know what? I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say they beat Mike Vrabel. Only because Mike Vrabel turned down a shot for me one time. I offered him a shot. He said, no way. We were in Pittsburgh Dive Bar. Granted, he was on a date, and I was with the, bunch of idiots, and he didn't want well whiskey. Same time, he's losing this game. So that's 2 wins for the Patriots. At the Colts, they're not sweeping the Colts in Indianapolis. Indianapolis will win that one. Chargers at home. Chargers, Harbaugh beats these awful Tennessee Titans. So we got 2 wins going into the bye week. Now we got 3 home games in a row. Houston, Seattle, Jacksonville. I think they get at least one of these games, maybe 2. Houston, it's a tough one. Seattle they can get, or Jacksonville they can get. Jacksonville, I'll give it to them because it's the division. Seattle's going to be a little too sound for them. You're going to see that in these segments coming up there. So that is what? 3 wins I got them at? New England, I'll say New England, Jacksonville, Colts are 3 wins. At Cleveland, they can win that. Can they go back to back? Cleveland will be on their 5th quarterback at that point. We might have, hopefully Shedeur Sanders. If we can get Shedeur Sanders with Cam Ward, December 7th. And that rivalry is good because you ever see those off-season workouts there? They're like kind of, it's just Cam Ward talking shit to Shedeur the entire time. That's why I realized I like Cam Ward. I mean, they're friends. They talk shit. But he's just talking about, you lost a bowl game, blah, blah, blah. Shedeur makes more money than him. So I think Cam Ward wins this game. There we go. That's the 4th win for the Tennessee Titans. Now we're cooking. At San Francisco, no, that's a blowout. 10 points is the look-ahead line. Kansas City at home, a good night nurse. No. Now you have New Orleans at home. This one they can get. I mean, they might have Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck for crying out loud. That's the 5th win. That's 5 wins for Tennessee. Week 18 at Jacksonville. That's what it's going to come down to. I think Jacksonville wins, but at the same time, what is the Jacksonville? I mean, who knows what their motivation is week 14? Hard to predict. So do you want to make a bet on over Tennessee and rely on week 18 at Jacksonville? Probably not. It's probably not what you want to do. But so man, that's a tough one. So I guess I'll go under. It's juice to the over. They're just gonna be a bad team. But more importantly, I think a nice sprinkle. Cam Ward rookie of the year is obviously a solid bet, but yeah, that's chalky. But Calvin Ridley, that's my play there. Calvin Ridley to lead the league in receptions, 80-1. That's a fun bomb. All right. There it is. That was painless. We got through it. We got through the Tennessee Titans. Maybe the worst team. 9-1 most losses isn't the worst thing, but I think they get 5 wins. I think that's what I have them at. 5 and 12. All right. Now let me tell you about more fun things like the Circus Survivor contest, which I said the Tennessee Titans will be the number 1 picked against team, probably one of them all year, but definitely week 1, everyone's going to have Denver. So make sure you get in these world's greatest sports books, circle us in their world's greatest contest, Circa Million, Circus Survivor, and the Grandissimo with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true D-Gen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. Come hang out with me, the man in the box, the bet detective, and the SGPN crew at the Circa contest weekend, August 21st and 23rd including we'll have live shows. We got Radio Row, open bars, specials. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at Circa with the promo code SGP15. Contests are open to everyone. You sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere. With the help of SGPN's official proxy, go to footballcontest.com. Use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fee. That'll be fun. Make sure you come out to that. And we got Underdog, of course, our main sponsor here. They got Best Ball Mania. I've been entering a bunch of those all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million in first place. No waiver wire, no arguments, no about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Great place to play Pick'em where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Here's in the Pick'em entry. I don't know. Claim it what you want. Just sign up with promo code BOMBS if you sign up for Underdog. You get a first-time deposit up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS. All right, we are back here now on the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, the Laddie Daddy, Scumbagger Vance, the man in the box, talking Tennessee Titans and Miami Dolphins. I don't know what my Miami Dolphin theme would be, but yeah, I'm just trying to mark down when I put ads in later on. You know how the man in the box does. He self-produces. He self-edits. I haven't learned a damn thing about it. We're going to go to South Florida, though. I do like. I always like Miami Dolphins early on. So let's get to South Florida before I stop rambling on things about things.
Ain't a gator. You must be gator bait.
That's right. That's right, Florida Gators. Oh, geez. I gotta take that thing off. Let me go back to me. Let me go back to me here. You guys like the close up or do you want the wide shot there? I think I like the wide shot. A little close up might maybe look better. Ronnie says he would not do Cam Ward Rookie of the Year. I'm not playing Cam Ward Rookie of the Year. I'm not. That's too chalky, but it usually does go to a quarterback. Jaden Daniels won last year, but he was Jaden Daniels. I have a couple other sprinkles I'll get into when I do my season-long future bets towards the end of August. But right now, we're locking out team previews. Now we got to do the Miami Dolphins, who were 8-9 last year. They missed the playoffs. Mike McDaniel's first year of missing the playoffs. Mike McDaniel's, the hipster quarterback, the Brooklyn barista who's got recovery energy. He's only had one double-digit win season. So there's a lot of talk about him being on the hot seat. I think they just want to be sick of his act. The media loves him, so he is 35-1 to win Coach of the Year. I would not play that. They would have to go like 12. They would have to go 12, and they would have to get the 1 seed to get the Coach of the Year. See, I'd rather waste money on Brian Callahan, who all he has to do is win 7 or 8 games to win Coach of the Year. McDaniel would have to do a lot. Their win total is 8.5 wins, 80-1 to win Super Bowl, 35-1 to win AFC. A lot of people are down on Miami this year. They're a tough team to shake out because Mike McDaniel is a creative play caller for sure. And that offense, when it gets going, they got a lot of weapons. Tyreek Hill, A-Chain, Tua's health, obviously, is the number one issue. Tua, I think 4 out of the 5 years he hasn't played 13 games or something like that. A lot of it's always concussion related, so that's always scary. Problem with Tua is not only does he get hurt, but it's a show when he gets hurt. It's always on Monday night. It's always a Sunday night. It's always a primetime game, and he gets, a stroke-inducing concussion where his arms are like a concussion thing, and it's not good. Like, this never happens in a 10 a.m. Pacific game or something like that, or at Arizona that nobody's watching. We all see it. And then every time it happens, like, well, okay, he can't ever play again, right? He's like, no, I'm going to come back and collect my $100 million and play. It's like, all right, yeah, he's a full-grown man. If he doesn't care about his kids, that's fine. He's basically like Evel Knievel, really, Tua. You're watching to see if he's going to die. When he accomplished things, like, it's great pass to Waddle. Well, we kind of wish you died, too. It's part of why we bought the ticket, See if your brain would explode. No one wants to see it, but you sometimes you go to see the wreck. What they're not talking about is Tua regressed a little bit last year too. His actually performance wasn't that great. Now a lot of that had to do with Tyreek Hill flat out quitting on the team and not being good. He said he's going to be good this year, but who knows? Channing Brown says recovery energy is hilarious. He does. He has that full on. Those people that are in recovery. I stopped drinking a while ago, but I don't put that recovery energy on you. I've dabbled in AA just to see what's going on. It's a whole different world in there. That when they talk about, they have that, it's a cult, first of all, but that higher ups of like, I'm making up grounds for you. It's a bit weird. I don't like it. But back to the Dolphins. Their offensive line is a mess. That's the problem too. I think only 2 of them have played 1,000 snaps. So that's not good when you have a very injury-prone spaghetti brain Tua quarterbacking back there. But when this offense does get going, it's good. A-Chain is awesome. Tyreek Hill is awesome when he comes back. And Waddle's great. Tyreek Hill's 45-1 for offensive player of the year. 925 is his total yardage. Waddle's 250-1, 850 total yards. 251 to win offensive player of the year. He was 600-1 offensive player of the year until Sean Green and Adam Rosenberg snaked that number for me and Kramer, and it dropped to 250. So now I'm an anti-Waddle guy. But I think Waddle and Hill obviously could have big bounce back years. All the Dolphins. They signed Darren Waller. Speaking of recovery energy, Darren Waller, famous for his he's heavy on the AA. But then you see that's what happens when that's recovery energy too. You get to think too much. When you're drinking and you're doing things like that, you're not thinking about things, and you can move on. Now, when you have that, when you're in a full-on program and you tackle everything, your addictions don't leave, but you put them somewhere else. So Mike McDaniels puts it to his, his clam digger pants and his, hipster skinny jeans and designs plays and all these other, and all those press conference quotes are all 20 minutes long. Then Darren Waller starts rapping, decides he wants to retire because he doesn't want to be a lead blocker. That's what happens when you get into recovery. You're too in your thoughts. When you're drinking, all you're thinking about is drinking and getting rid of your hangover. So you block. You block for a guy. So now Darren Waller's back. We'll see what he does as tight end. Who knows? I wouldn't go out of my way to bet anything on him. A-Chain's interesting, 60-1 offensive player of the year, 48-1, the lead in rushing yards. Problem is, if Tua gets hurt, this team is derailed. I mean, if Tua gets hurt, it's going to fall off a cliff quickly. Although, you got Quinn Ewers. They did draft Quinn Ewers, a quarterback, a Texas kid, who played pretty good. I think he was a 7th-round pick. And apparently he looks really good. I was shocked Quinn Ewers fell to the 7th round. He, of course, everyone made fun of because he could have went to another school and got NIL money, like $5 million or something. And he went to bet on himself, as he says. Sometimes you got to bet on yourself. Yeah, you're right. You do. But also what they don't tell you is you can lose. You can lose when you bet on yourself. And financially, I mean, Quinn Ewers will be fine. I'm not worried about Quinn Ewers being bad financially, but he's an interesting rookie of the year. I think we got him at like 100-1 or something. We put it a little on there. Because Tua can get hurt. And if Ewers gets in there and he's good with that offense, with those weapons, I mean, now we're talking. So that's a sprinkle I'll give out there. Quinn Ewers, offensive rookie of the year. Why not? The Dolphins' defense, their secondary is very bad. They traded Jalen Ramsey. They did get Fitzpatrick back, who's more of a safety, he's not getting paid, which is weird because that was the first team he didn't get paid for. Their D-line, it's a little light. Chop Robinson is good. Bradley Chubb and Phillips are off in knee surgery, so that's going to be questionable. They drafted Kenneth Grant, who's 27-1 for rookie of the year. They're going to be holding on. I mean, that's going to be hanging on by a string. This Dolphin team now, the good thing with the Dolphins is you can catch them early on in Florida. They rack up. They do this every year. They rack up wins early when it's hot in South Florida, and then the second it gets cold, they bow out. Channing says McDaniels with his off-white shoes gives off that Buscemi "how you doing, kid" straight. Yeah, he's definitely trying to be a cool kid coaching this team, which obviously you can see with the when you have teams like players like Tyreek Hill quitting and shit like that and not caring and admitting he doesn't care. That's what happens when you have hipster McDaniels, your coach, trying to be nice. He's too nice. Anyway, let's get to the schedule. See what we can get there with 8.5 wins. That's the Titans. Let me get to the Dolphins. There they are. There's a little general Dolphin logo I put on there. All right. They start off week 1 at Indianapolis. Now, I have Miami already bet them. This game's a pick 'em. People are starting to like the Colts now. I think when you bet Miami, you bet them early when they're healthy. I don't care if it's Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson playing that game. Dolphins are winning. Dolphins are winning in Indy week 1. Then they come home to New England. I think they win that one. Like I said, I think New England's very overrated. And Miami always beats New England in Miami, even when New England was amazing with Brady and Belichick and all those guys. They would always lose it in that South heat, So all right, there you go. Dolphins, I got you a 2-0. At Buffalo, of course, that's a loss. The Fish never look good up there. Jets at home. Dolphins Jets, always a fun AFC East game. I do not like Justin Fields at quarterback. So I got you 3-1. Now you go to at Carolina. This is a game that you can lose, but you're feeling good about yourself. Man, Carolina's such a tough team to predict. That's a coin toss. Let's go ahead and give you that win. Let's make you 4-1 because you're rolling. Now you come home to Chargers. I don't like that one. Now you're 4-2. At Cleveland, 5-2. That's a dub no matter what. You can't let Joe Flacco beat you. Joe Flacco is older than McDaniels. You can't have their opponent's quarterback, Scott Bakula style, and necessary roughness be older than your opponent's coach. So Cleveland victory. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins so far. At Atlanta, that's where things get. These are wins you need to get in the dome. I think I'll give that to the Falcons. So 5-2, 5-3. Home versus Baltimore, loss. The rematch versus Buffalo, that one they could get. This is a tough spot though. Baltimore, Buffalo, then Washington, all in a row. They'll get one of them. They could go 0-3. So that's 6 wins. I got them going into the bye week. Then you got New Orleans at home. That's a win. They're favored by 8 in a look ahead line, 7. At the Jets, they'll split with the Jets. At Pittsburgh, hell, that might be the Will Howard versus Quinn Ewers game at that point. At Pittsburgh in December will be a loss. At home versus Cincinnati and Tampa Bay, and at New England's how to finish it off. I think they get 2 out of 3 there. 1 out of 2. So that's around 8 or 9 wins. And I say I'm at 8.5. You know what? This schedule's pretty light. Let's go ahead and take the over on these Miami Dolphins. So there it is. Over 8.5, and you get used to the over. But as far as prop bets, let me go back to the studio. I said back to the studio. Let me get rid of the slides. There we are, man in the box. Tyreek Hill 45-1. Offense player isn't a bad bet. Just because I like the over 8.5 wins. There's not much more. Like the A-Chain, everyone likes him. A-Chain and Hill is where I would go. But Hill's got a lot of easy bounce back spot. If he's motivated, it might be the final year of his contract. It's just tough with him. Who knows what crime is going to come up with Tyreek Hill and what they're going to, suspend him for. Or trade him. That's what they talked about, but I guess they won't. Anyway. All right, let's get to the box. Okay, that does it for the Miami Dolphin Tennessee Titan preview. Thank you guys for listening to C Generous. Before I get into my man in box segment, reminder that after this, we were recording the SGP boys, Ryan and Sean, on the main show are recording their Jaguars and Seahawks previews, and I will be a guest on both of them. So if you want more of the Deli Llama, the Laddie Daddy, I'm here all day doing shows, including the Bottom Line Bombs. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I promise you the box. What did we talk about? I already got through the Hulk Hogan and training camp stuff. Real quickly, yesterday I was at having dinner at a restaurant, a tapas restaurant, and I got this. The waiter. What's with this now with the waiters? They'll give you the check. Sometimes they'll do the card, and they do it right at the table. And they stare at you and they stare over you. I'm not talking about the iPad where they, swing around the suggested tip thing. I'm talking about a restaurant. And the waiters now, they stand at your table. We're pulling out cash. And I'm like, oh, where's the total? Because he made a mistake. They brought something out that was a mistake. Didn't give it to us. Not like, oh, it's a mistake, keep it. Got rid of it. Like, oh, okay. Then, it took 20 minutes for the actual thing to come out. And it makes a bigger deal. That was on us. We crossed it off. We didn't charge you for that. Oh, you didn't charge me for the thing I didn't order or receive? Thanks. But that messed up the whole price. Like, so now we're looking for the total. Oh, do you need help with the total? He's standing over. Get the fuck away from me, waiter.
And once again, we apologize for CJ's language.
What do you want to sit down and eat? Give me a minute here. Stop looking over my shoulder as I'm opening my pocket. Get out of my pocket, as they say. So now I got to fill out the tip with you looking at me, making eye contact. Listen, I was gonna give you a good tip anyway, even though you were bad. But now that you're staring me in the eyes and making it as uncomfortable as possible, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing your hurt as I do this. But like, yeah, get out of here. Go. Leave the machine. I know how this works. I know how to find the total. It's on the bottom. Like I do all this math that he threw in there. Anyway, I didn't like that. That tilted me. And he was a little aloof the whole time. He was gone, and the place wasn't that big. Oh, sorry, I totally missed your table. That's what he's. I don't care. I don't care what your thing is. I tell you what people did care about this weekend, according to X, was that Happy Gilmore 2. This is not quite a realer's choice. This is not a review of the movie Happy Gilmore 2, although it came out this weekend on Netflix. I did not watch it yet. I probably will eventually. I don't assume that it's going to be good. But that was the reviews you saw on X. People either loved it or they hated it. And it wasn't because it's good. I think but what's funny was, and that's why online, Twitter, and all that shit's great, because you weren't allowed to have either opinion. That was the common theme. If you didn't like it, then you're a hater, just doesn't enjoy life. If you liked it, then you're lying to people. No matter what your opinion was on the on it, it was terrible. Apparently, it's got like 200 cameos, which is a good strategy. So what you do is you get so many cameos and everyone's in there that people have to leave positive reviews because they just going to know a certain amount of people. Adam Sandler's got a weird thing where people just don't want to upset him because he's a likable guy and he is funny and he's so rich. And all his movies, I guess they make money. But on paper, when you watch the movie, they're bad. They're not good. Now, part of the problem is it's whenever generation you grew up watching it. I loved Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore growing up. But again, I was growing up. I'm not that age anymore. So I can't imagine that shit's good now. So whatever. I do love Shooter McGavin though. Christopher McDonald, shout out to him. But I just love no matter what your opinion on is, you can't have that opinion. Nope. Your opinion's wrong there. You just didn't like that. And people justifying it too. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but people were like, it's fine. It did its part. Yes, it's silly, but it's fun. You do laugh. It's fun. My kids liked it. If you say my kids liked it, then go to hell. I don't care then. Oh, well, I'm glad you got something. I'm glad you took care of your kids for a couple hours and you got the parent for you. How does that help me? The standards are just so low on some of these movies. Like, I just fear all these movies. It's trying to remember the last good comedy I saw, let alone in a theater. Naked Gun's coming out next weekend, and I will see it, even though I don't think that's going to be good either. But I feel like I owe it to that franchise, for one. And two, like I just can't remember the last time I was in a theater and saw a comedy live. I think you got to do that experience. The hardest I ever laughed, speaking, I did a Hulk Hogan kid story. Hardest I ever laughed, I think, at a movie was the first Naked Gun. I probably was 12. Who knows when I was, but I was a kid, obviously. And I literally fell in the aisle. Like I say, rolling in the aisle, like falling in the aisles, laughing. That's what I did. I fell into the aisle laughing from the umpire scene. when he did the exaggerated strike three calls. I don't know, grow up to learn later. That's just called heightening, and classic bits there. Enrico Palazzo doing strike three before the pitch even came in. To me, the 12-year-old boy in the box, C. Generate here, that was as high comedy as you could get. So I'll have a review for Naked Gun because I'll definitely see it. Although the Zuckerbergs apparently are not fans, obviously. They don't want their franchise ruined. They wanted to, I'll talk about that later. I can't get into it. That's a good segment. That's a new segment I got on my show. You know what? I can't get into it. I'll bring it up, but maybe some other time. Now, I was talking to someone who knows the Zuckerbergs out here in Los Angeles, and they wanted to, this is true. They wanted to do a documentary where they filmed people coming out of Naked Gun, like leaving early, whatever, and asking why they didn't like it. That's how petty they are. Which I applaud any pettiness, but that's not a good look. I'm glad they're not doing that. I think the guy they asked to do it was like, yeah, I don't think that's going to turn out the way you want it to. One, I think people might like it. And two, even if they don't, that's just not how you want to be portrayed. As I told you so, guys who were rooting for a failure that you're getting paid money for. Anyway, point is, like or Happy Gilmore too, hate Happy Gilmore too, just be fine. It's just so weird how defensive people are. People are like, it's okay, stop going crazy, everyone. You're not even allowed to dislike it. The man in the box says it's okay to like or dislike it. I'm giving you permission. They can't be like, no, it's the stupidest movie I've ever seen.
That's not the answer.
It was a fun romp with 175 cameos.
That's not the answer.
None of it is. But, all right. That's going to do it for the box. Let me get out of here. Oh, wow. It's been a long show. We're going a little late. That's great. Well, thank you for everyone who joined the chat. Helped me go to get the live energy going. Channing Brown, Ronnie Pasco, Feach, John. All kinds of people are up in here helping us get along, and we got going. Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs. Hit the thumbs up on the YouTube. I forgot to tell you all that. You know all the damn things to do there. We got people asking for the Hulkster in Heaven song to close the show. I'll play a little Hulkster to go out. I mean, like I said, I don't want to get sued, and he does have a history of bringing down sports media websites. The Hulkster.
Protein never tasted this.
And I messed up. Let me go back to the halfway through where I left it. They did take down Gawker, but I got to be, like I said, I got to be on the air in order to be canceled. So let me bring it halfway through here. Here's more of the Hulkster. Thank you, everyone. This is him singing and tributing a dead kid that never existed. Thank you, everyone. Subscribe, get in your cars, and get the hell home. Another Hulkamaniac. The world just lost another Hulkamaniac and a made-up figment of our imagination.
You were my friend.